Today we're going to be playing an Esper Control deck, but we're going to be doing it in a very unique way in that we're going to be using almost all enchantments. And of course that means our build around today is going to be Zur, the Eternal Schemer. Now, if you guys don't know what Zur is a creature that is going to allow all of our enchantment creatures to passively get lifelink, death touch, and hexproof. And it will also allow us to animate some of our enchantments into creatures, giving them those same benefits. So of course we've got some really great sagas that eventually will flip into those enchantment creatures, just getting those abilities passively put onto them. But we have some great enchantments that we're going to be animating as well. We have things like Wedding Announcement and Hallowed Haunting that are going to eventually build up and end the games for us. But we've also got some really fun cards in here. We've got Obscura's Ascendancy in this deck because we have a really nice curve out, and we're hoping to spit out enough spirits and eventually pump them all up to close out the game. The deck is really fun. I had a blast with this one. Zur has actually turned out to be quite a powerful card, so I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy today's video. There will be a full deck breakdown at the end of today's video, so stick around for that. In the meantime, there's a link below for the full deck list, and if you guys enjoy content just like this, if you wouldn't mind giving it a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, it helps me out so very much, and I'd greatly appreciate it. With that being said, guys, enjoy today's video. Peace. What is up, everybody? Thanks for clicking on today's video. Today we've got an Esper deck revolving around Zur. Zur being a fantastic creature that allows us to animate our enchantments and attack our opponent with those enchantments. It's a lot of fun, and it plays really well with cards like these because they are enchantment creatures already, and we don't actually need to go through the trouble of animating them with Zur to get any sort of value. So a lot of really fun things about this deck, man. We've been playing it a lot. And it feels really, really good, to be honest. It's been working really well for us. All right, kicking things off with a nice curve out here. The mana looks great too. All right, that's annoying. I don't like that card. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, not a fan. All right, let's go here. Grabbing another land, thinning out the deck a little bit here because we are getting a bit mana flooded. We don't want to see any more lands off the top here. We've seen plenty. So if we could just maybe draw into something helpful, maybe a 4-drop enchantment, Spirit, the Hallowed Haunting or the Sigarda Splendor, one of those two would be nice. That's not bad. It's not bad. Yes. All right, the question becomes now, do we Obscura Charm something? Do we Seed of the Empire something? I'm not sure. We're up against Grixis. They're looking to do things when, their creatures die. They get card advantage off of it. Now they're showing Esper colors. You may sacrifice a creature if you do. Each opponent discards a card. That's a pretty good spell. I can't counter it, though, because it's not an instant or sorcery, right? All right, let's make their decision very hard here on which creature to sacrifice. You want to sacrifice your Morbid Opportunist? I highly doubt it. Maybe I should have let them choose Saga 1 before I did that, though, huh? Because if they choose Saga 1, I mean, maybe not, though, because if they chose Saga 1, maybe I think it would go on the stack. Yeah, I don't know the sequencing there, how that would work, but I think they'd actually be able to sack their creatures. So I think I did it the right way. It did make their job a little bit harder here to decide. They start on level 3, though, which is... Target opponent may sacrifice a non-land, non-token permanent. If they don't, they lose 2 life and you draw a card. Yeah, go ahead. Do your worst. Do your worst. For 3 mana, drawing a card and, hurting yourself, I'll take that all day. There's value to be had there. All right. Gain me that 2 life. Now, do I want to try to get tricky with the Ijago, or do I want to save this to cycle it out, or do I want to play it for Lance? I think I'm going to play this out for land and hang on to our Seat of the Empire. Iganjo, Seat of the Empire is a pretty good card here, I think. Also, the Wedding Announcement comes down next turn, hopefully allowing us to draw into some cards because we'll be able to attack in with the 2 creatures. I'm hoping that we can find a Sigarda Splendor, especially now that we have Zur kind of online, because we've got this lifelink mechanic going on. All right. That's fine. If that was their one move for the turn, I'll take it. All right, we'll go with the wedding announcement for sure. We will definitely be attacking in with all here. No reason not to. Create a spirit token, and then also we're going to be drawing a card off of the wedding announcement. And then I can also cycle away the Rafine's Tower, or I can use Zer's ability to bring up the wedding announcement as a creature as well. So a lot of options here, man. I mean, we're already doing the thing. The thing's going really well for us. We kill the Morbid Opportunist, which is really big. Let's see what the card is off the top here. We also have to discard a card thanks to this. All right, so again, we're just sitting on a Rafine's Tower, which can cycle away for another card, or we can bring up the wedding announcement. Hopefully no big Meat Hook Massacre hits us here. I mean, that's probably the worst possible thing that can happen. I'm sure they have it though. I mean, if it's the worst case scenario, it typically means that is the likely scenario. Because they can Meat Hook the board for 4, which is just enough to really drive me crazy. I hope not. I mean, I hope we get by here with this, but they've got too many cards in hand. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna discard the card because if I cycle it away, we might end up with a really good card and we have to throw it away. I'd be pretty upset. So let's not do that. Not a lot to be had there with this card, to be honest. I've got a good sacrificial tool here with the spirit. Yeah, I was gonna say that's not a very good card, to be honest. All right, I mean, pretty clean victory. We were a little scared there because we ran out of cards in hand here, which is not like this deck. Usually we'll have Sigarda's Splendor down, you know, the wedding announcement going off, and we've also got the Behold. So we got a lot of card draw mechanics in this deck that we just didn't find. The opponent also being on discard didn't help, but man, that actually worked out okay. On to the next one. Not a bad start. Not a bad start, man. Dude, Zer's really, really good. I think it's obviously a pretty big commander card, I believe, but in standard, I think there's room for it, man. I really do, and especially with new sets obviously coming out down the line, you never know how good this card could potentially be, depending on, you know, the enchantments that we get. Opening hand here, going second. I mean, this is not bad at all, but this is going second. I'm gonna give this thing a chance. I'm gonna roll the dice on it. Very scary dice roll for sure, but we'll see. All right, they're off to a pretty aggro start, huh? Okay, not what you want to see out of the gates here. Not what you want to see. But hopefully we can get to the Zer. I mean, if we can get another... No, if we could just get a black source off the top here, that's not a tapped source. Okay. That's not happening then. I was going to say, if we get a black source on tapped here, we get the Reckoner Raid in, and then follow it with the Zer, we're in good shape. But unfortunately, no black source on turn 2 there, so we're going to be taking a bit of a beating. Patchwork's going to get really, really big, I would imagine. This is 03. It's a new card, huh? So let's see what this thing does. It says, until the end of turn, target creature with Defender gains haste. Can attack as though it didn't have Defender and assign combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. That's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. All right, we're gonna definitely activate. We're gonna bring in Zer. Bring in Zer because it's a big body that can block really well. Obviously, avoiding burn spells is gonna be the play. I'm really afraid of what sort of burn spells they could have. I do like that they had to play that though. That does show a little bit of desperation to try to get, you know, something on the field, and they're running out of mana, so the potential for them to sneak attack me with some burn is highly unlikely. All right, cool. That'll work. That will work. Now things get really tricky though. I think we do the Seat of the Empire and the Reckoner. The Reckoner, you know, obviously we can activate it and give it lifelink, and it would be a 1/1 which is not ideal. So I think we go with the Seat of the Empire play to hopefully kill something here. We'll see. Gonna be taking a lot, unfortunately, from this automaton. It's very big. And wow. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to block it actually, which is not fun. Well. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do, ladies and gentlemen? If we activate the Reckoner raid, trade with the Ronin, and then block here. Well, hold on. Is that the move? I think this is the move. Bear with me. I don't know if this is right though. We're gonna find out though. Block here. Block here. 2, 4, 5. We gain 1, and that dies because we have Death Touch. I think that's the move. I'm pretty sure it's the move. I'm just afraid. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we can get there. We'll see if we can get there, man. Man, there's nothing great here in my hand to play this turn. I have the ability to block here, deal 3 damage here, but then this comes down, this comes down. We're just gonna lose, unfortunately. If I had some cheaper enchantments that I could turn into life-linking bodies, we'd be in good shape. But yeah, unfortunately, man, we were just a little too slow for that one. We kept a pretty bad hand. Yeah, that's tough. I like their deck though. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. We did what we could there. And we did what we could there. I like that we have Death Touch attached to the creatures that come up with this too. That's super helpful, as you saw against the patchwork. We almost got out of it, but not quite. You know, the enchantments that we were given, not great. If this would have been an on-tap land, we still wouldn't have had enough mana to do anything. So I don't think there was much we could have top decked there to save us. But maybe Meat Hook Massacre. Meat Hook for 2. Yeah, Meat Hook might have been able to save us. But anyways, on to the next. All right, that's bound to happen. I mean, that deck is extremely fast, extremely good. I've never seen anyone run the artifact version of that, so that's pretty cool. At least not for, you know, since Dominaria has come out. But all right, I get to go first. Hand looks pretty good. If I find one more land here, we're in really good shape. Anytime I can kick things off with the Reckoner raid, we're good to go, man. Because then I can follow it right up with Zur, and you know, it flips and gains all of its stats, which is super good. And then now I can get the restoration out next turn, which then in turn allows us to find our 4th land drop, which is so good. Bank Buster, why not? Bank Buster, huh? I still think the restoration's the play here. Gotta kind of give up the idea that we're going to be able to do anything about the Bank Buster. We're just gonna have to let them do what they want with that. Graveyard Trespasser, sure. Nothing in my graveyard, so we're chilling there. Do we get in Zur next turn? If we get in Zur, there's a good chance that our opponent has some sort of kill spells. They are mono black after all. They are mono black after all. Kind of just flying through here with some great value. Obviously getting this back from the graveyard for free with the restoration is really nice. I mean, I could play out the Zur though. If I play out the Zur, I do have Obscura Charm to bring it back if it dies. So we'll give it a shot. The problem with Zur, right? The biggest problem I have with Zur is the fact that it gets hit with Cut Down. And mono black is everywhere and Cut Down is really prevalent. So, okay, I'm down for that. That's fine. That is fine. I mean, it's not fine. It's still a really cruddy situation, but we have so much life gain from our enchantments that I'm not too concerned about it. Plus, our things have Death Touch too. So if you want to go Death Touch, we can make it happen. Sorry, I have really bad allergies, guys, just in case you didn't know. Bank Buster coming in for an attack here, huh? Seems kind of Not like the play, huh? Okay, I mean, we'll take it. They just given themselves up as far as card draw goes in the future. They must not see the death touch attached to that. I'm not sure, but no card draw for them going forward. It's fine. This is gonna come down with lifelink and death touch as well. I'm gonna go this route. Having a land and Machiko on top of the 1/4 just for this turn, because we do have to use, you know, the power and not lose it. So let's not give it to the architect or anything. We're up to 20 already, by the way, guys, and we have a great body here to block the Graveyard Trespasser. They can swing in with the Shieldred. I'd probably let it slide even though we have Death Touch. That's fine. We got a lot of value off of it, so I can bring it back too. Let's not forget. Just kidding, it's dead. I didn't realize they brought down a second Trespasser till just a second. I zoned out for 1 second. That's funny. All right, they can hit me for that. That's fine. Okay, we lost Zur. That's it's a bit of a bummer. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Yes. Do we want to give up any of these cards? 1, 2, 3. I can hit for 3. No, I don't even have a second black source, do I? So if we get Meat Hook down, bring back the Reckonerate. Is that good? Maybe. All right, we got the 8/9. Wedding Announcement. Attack in. Create the 1/1. And now we can start to draw some cards here with Wedding Announcement, which is great. And they don't want to take 8, I would imagine. They would probably want to chump block this with one of their Trespassers, which is fantastic for us. Shieldred's still kind of being a nuisance out there, lingering a bit, but I think we're far enough ahead that we should be able to close this out. I hope. Obviously, all dependent upon their top decks here. That's fine. We don't care about that. We do care about that a little bit, but not really. We're kind of chilling with that. So Shieldred hits for another 4. Do we allow it? I think so. I think so. A lot of transformations and flips happening here. Let's see just what we're left with. It's fine. And I can't discard a card, so I'm not able to actually deal with this with the Obscura. All right. I do have a counter mechanic now, though, going forward. Let's do this, and that way we can draw a card. We create another body, so even if they want to, you know, block one of my 1/1s, so be it. I kind of just replace that body, so that'll work. We get another card. We have a counter spell in case they top deck something really spicy like an Invoke Despair, and from there we're good to go. If they don't have an Invoke Despair, I've got a really good removal tool for the Graveyard Trespasser. All right, yeah. So Stray Creature it is. Yep, we will discard a card. I do not care. Do not care, because Dredgefuge is the card that they top decked, so does nothing. They attack in again. Interesting choice. So if I allow this attack, we go down to 3. We take 2 off the top, and then we attack in response, and they lose the game, right? I mean, I would imagine 3, 6. Yeah, I think they've realized that as well. All right, we'll do this. And now if we attack in with everybody, they block the 6 here. They block this. They take 3, 4, 5. And they're left with nothing on the field. And I'm left with no Machiko. Or I can wait for everything to just transform. And we attack for obviously lethal. But if I go that route, I'm taking 2 more from Shieldred. There's pluses and minuses to all of this here, for sure. 6. They're gonna have to block the Machiko with this for sure. So it's gonna die. I kind of like the idea of the attack here, because we're gonna get a card, and it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be penalty free because Shieldred's gone. I think that's fine. We're left with plenty of extra stuff here. We don't have to take additional damage from Shieldred doing its thing. So I'm pretty happy with that. And it's a Sigarda Splendor, a great card. Fantastic card. All right, it's dead. And we win the game. We do win the game. Let's go. GG's, baby. Solid game there, man. I was really debating on that last attack. I'm pretty happy we chose to swing in there because I think getting rid of Shieldred was the right play. Even though we lost value with the, you know, the Machiko, I think it was the right call. So on to the next. All right. That was a pretty good game. You know, Shieldred's one of those cards you really gotta be worried about that card at all times, man. It's in every build that has black. It's kind of crazy. Thing's got a crazy, I just think it's got too much toughness, if I'm being honest. 4/5, it's just a little too big. We get to go first. I do like the card though. I when I first saw it, I really wanted to play it in like a Quasar build, but okay, nothing till turn 3. We have a lot of 3 drops, making things a little tricky here. I think I go for the 4th land drop here, right? So I can get the Hollowed Haunting in, and then that way, whenever we resolve any enchantments, we're also getting the benefit of the spirits coming down. And I love that we have Obscure's Ascendancy finally to showcase, because I really want to show you guys how good this card actually is in our deck. All right, we're ramping up pretty good here. Again, I'm going to go Hollowed Haunting. I'm going to take a unfortunate amount of damage to the face here for 3, but that's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. We got a really decent hand here. Another Shieldred, of course. No big deal. Shieldred's tough, though, in this position. We do have a Seed of Empire. That's pretty good. Shieldred's tough, man. What do we do about that? What do we do? What do we do? If we play this... well, I guess we do this, get our land drop, spit out a spirit, and then we hit them with the Seed of the Empire on the Shieldred if they want to attack, which I'm sure they will. I don't know, it's tough to say. If they have a backup Shieldred in hand, I'm sure they will attack, which they almost always do have the backup, so we got to be prepared for that. We don't have like a ton of really good ways to deal with it either, which is super annoying. All right. Sorin. Now when Sorin draws them a card, that's an interesting combo because it actually is going to hurt them, but it also gains them life from the Shieldred. So you got some pretty cool, interesting things happening with that. Do it. Do it. Let it go. Let's go. Let's go. Huge, man. Huge. Okay. We get rid of Shieldred, which is the biggest problem we were having there. And, no, we won't do any discarding this turn. What we're going to do is... yeah, we'll get the Obscura's Ascendancy in here. We'll get the wedding announcement down. And we will attack into the Sorin, forcing them to make a double block that they don't want to make. They're going to lose the Trespasser or the Flyer. Which one do we want to actually take out here? Probably the Flyer. No. Trespasser's a little more dangerous. I think the fact that they're hurting us by, you know, making us exile cards from the graveyard is not fun. So I love that we have the Zur still in hand here too. Obviously, they could make us discard with like a simple Liliana, which would be such a bummer. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case. If we can start to get this going too, finding our you know, our 1 drop off the top would be so good, and we can, you know, start flowing. The most ideal thing to find though would be Sigarda Splendor, so we can start drawing some cards because we're behind here. And they find another Shieldred. The rest doesn't hit anything. I think they realize too now that they're in a little bit of trouble here. We had the wedding announcement to draw some cards, which is helpful, but I don't have a good way of getting around the Shieldred here, which is a bit of a bummer. So I'm gonna have to sacrifice something. Something's gonna have to get sacrificed here. really don't want to sacrifice any of these, right, on the attack. So the fact that I'm not going to be attacking him with any of these means because if I bring these up here to attack with, they're gonna block with shield rid if we lose them. So I'm going to just pass the turn, and I will flash in at instant speed one of these enchantments as a creature. All right, they're drawing more cards. Where is Soren's loyalty currently at? Let's see. It's at 4. Okay. We got to keep an eye on that. Gotta keep an eye on that, because once it gets to 7, we lose the game pretty much. So that's fine. We have plenty of things that we could sacrifice pretty happily here, so that won't be too much of an issue. They transform right away. Fair enough. They want that death touch. All right, bringing up the Obscura, bringing up the wedding announcement. Another land, man. What is going on with the top decks here, man? They're terrible. Absolutely terrible. All right, we're going to give them some really bad choices here with this. Such a bummer, though, man. I can't believe the audacity of my deck not giving me an actual playable card there. Giving me another land. How unfortunate, man. I mean, look at the board we have here. If imagine these two were just enchantments, just 2 decent enchantments, like, we absolutely flood the board with nonsense and run away with this game. There we go. Everything gets the pump, which means we have some more viable attackers finally for Soren and trying to get, some damage through here. I just really hope Zur doesn't die, man. Zur would be such an annoying thing to die. I have a pretty good defense to an Invoke Despair. It's not going to absolutely cripple me. I could drop off the Ascendancy, which would feel pretty bad, because I would have loved to showcase how good that card can be. We've had some really good games with it, but I'm happy to make some trades here if they want to, send somebody through here. Making their flyer a 4/5. It's actually good enough to get through. There's nothing in front of them to cause any friction. They transform right away, which is what we saw previously. No big deal. You've got a good attack. You might as well just send it, right? I can block, though. I mean, I don't die, so... You should have got the life gain, though. I would have imagined that was probably what you should have done, but... All right, we do get an enchantment. It does help a little bit. It pumps up, the spirits, which is fantastic. And we thin the deck out even further. And let's see. I don't want to bring this up because it actually will... It makes my spirits, for whatever reason, less. I've done it before, and it did that. I could be wrong, but I could have swore I've animated this before, and it made my spirits like 5/5s when they were 6/6. Let's see. Attack in with you here. That'll kill something. Imagine if I could get this and this actually working together, though. My spirits would be so overpowered. Let's do that. I think that's all I do for now. Force them to make 2 bad blocks here that they're not going to want to make, which obviously would probably be with the 2/3 flyers. Oh, they give up Soren. Okay, they give their Soren up. I'll take it. Darkness, I return. All right, and then just for scientific purposes, we'll bring this up again. I don't know why it was, but I did actually animate this with Zur, and I'm telling you, my spirits got a little bit weaker. As long as you control 7 or more enchantments, creatures you control have flying and vigilance. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, create a white spirit. This creature's total is equal to the number of spirits you control. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I didn't see that correctly. Yeah, I think I'm mistaken. I could bring it up as a creature. I am also afraid though of sweepers. Sweepers would obviously be a complete blowout, so like a big meat hook massacre. So maybe it is wise to just keep it as a as an enchantment, because if we lose everything, at least we will be left with the Hallowed Haunting, you know, to kind of refuel the board. So, you know, I'm actually going to keep it. 5/6 lifelink over the top. I can't stop it, so we allow it. No blocks. It does open the door for more attacks on my part too, to gain some life with some life linking bodies. Virus Beetle, that's fine. We have nothing we want in our hand, so by all means, take it. All right, we activate this as a body. What a top deck. Okay, that'll work. That will work. Doesn't matter. Doesn't even matter. All right, here we go. Send everybody. Let's see what the math is on that. They're gonna gain 4, going up to 39. We have a lot of damage here. They block most of the big stuff. I think this is a bad attack. I think this is a bad attack here. We do it like so. Should be good. I mean, we gain, what is it, 13 life. The fact that we're gaining 13 life here is actually pretty clutch. And we're dishing out some serious pain here. So we got these 7/7s that they're going to have to answer with some sort of blocks, right? So I think we're good. The Shieldred, I would imagine, is going to block the 9/9, which I'll take the Shieldred out. So by all means, do that. And then I can give the Machiko power over to the Wedding Festivities next turn. This is a tricky attack, man. It really is. Really tricky attack, but they block in a very conservative type of way, leaving me with a lot of my good stuff still, so I'll take it. They flip over the Toshiro, and it's a 2/3 land. I like that. I like that too. That's totally fine. You can have the Shakedown Heavy. Not a big deal. I'm just happy I'm back to 18, to be honest. 18 is very clutch. If they minus, we got plenty of really good choices here for these 2/2s. So they do minus. Fair enough. Do we have any attacks from our opponent here? Probably not. I think we're slowly getting back into this game and grinding them, you know, grinding them out. So I'm pretty happy with this. As long as our top decks aren't atrocious and they're not lands, like everything else, like literally any enchantment, even our 1-drop, is going to be so helpful, because it will, you know, spit out the Ascendancy, which would be fantastic. We haven't seen a single 1-drop yet, have we? All right, they're getting irritable. A little bit desperation here from their attack, that's for sure. Okay, they exile that to deal 1. Nothing in hand, so we're pretty safe to make some blocks here, which is exactly what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and block here. Gain 4 off of that. That seems like a very good trade. I'll definitely trade with you. So I mean, that's really good value for us. All day. I'll take that all day. All right, they're in trouble. They say good game, we get a Machiko. That is in fact going to be good game, no doubt about it. With the Machiko off the top spitting us out another Spirit, that is for sure good game. Woo, very good. Man, I really wish I could have got the Obscura Ascendancy going, man. Sorry guys. That will conclude today's gameplay footage. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We're going to break the deck down now and talk about it a little bit. But before I do so, I just want to give a huge shout out and thank you to everyone who's made it this far into the video. It helps a lot. So thank you. I do appreciate it. The algorithm loves that kind of stuff. So thanks for sticking here with me to the end. I do appreciate it. And whoops, my bad. My camera is off here. I forgot to change that. All right, let's talk about the list. So obviously Zur the build around here. Very easy place for me to start when building this deck. We put a Zur in here, we put 4 of them, and we said let's go enchantment mode. Okay, so how do we want to do this? Well, I tried this, I'm gonna be honest, in so many different ways that did not work, that I feel like I'm kind of an expert on the card. But what I found to be the most successful with this is that we really don't want to focus too much on animating a bunch of enchantments, but also we want to focus in on just having enough enchantment creatures naturally that are going to benefit from the schemer. So of course we had to have a lot of sagas. So from there, I went ahead and I knew I had to have things like Restoration of Inganjo, sorry. And also, I really like Behold the Unspeakable on the top end. And we only splashed in 2 here. And it's specifically because it's a 5-drop, you know, for the Ascendancy. But we'll get into that later. So we have a good saga here, good saga here. We also got the Machiko because it's a very good saga that flips into a very powerful creature eventually in the late game. But also, this closes out games, obviously, with this 1 and 2 sagas. And then of course we're kicking things off with Reckoner Raid. So all of these things are flipping over eventually into their own enchantment creature bodies that are going to get value from the Zur passively. Now of course our sweeper of choice had to be the Meathook Massacre because it's another enchantment that we can activate and bring in as a creature. And then from there I knew I could splash in just the best enchantments I could find to hopefully synergize really well with the deck, but also help close out the game. So Hallowed Haunting was a no-brainer. We had to throw that in there. Wedding Announcement, again, a no-brainer. Here's where things got a little tricky. I wanted to even be able to draw a bunch of cards. So let me go and show you guys here. Let me type in Hideaway. So I did have the wiretapping in this deck at first in place of the Behold the Unspeakable. We didn't even have Splendor in here. I ran 3 of these. I was really focusing heavily on trying to draw cards with the wiretapping, and it was guaranteed to give me 1 extra card every single turn, which was cool. But we were almost pulling it off every single time with 1 less mana with the Cigar to Splendor, because this thing was drawing us cards almost as consistently as every single turn. Not quite, obviously. If we do take damage, we don't, get that extra card, but for 4 mana, it's a little bit better. Plus, almost everything in the deck is white, so you're going to gain life passively with it as well. And I think, again, the Saga enchantments are a little better because we get the creature on the back end of it for free, and Zur pumps it up. So I think Splendor was a little bit better in this position. And another thing I wanted to add here is that we splashed in Obscurus Ascendancy. Now this didn't get a lot of play obviously in today's video, but I'm telling you guys, I've had games where I've popped off with this a couple of times where we maxed it out completely. And the reason being is because we have a really nice curve here. We do have to hit a Reckoner Raid obviously after this hits, but after that we're pretty good to go because we have 8 2-drops that we can play. We can play the Meathook Massacre for 0 just to trigger it, the Ascendancy, or we can play out a Machiko. And then from there we have a lot of 3-drops. We have 6 4-drops, and then we splash them to Behold the Unspeakables, which can close the game out, which is fantastic because it will flip this into giving all your spirits 3/3s, which if a Hallowed Haunting at that point's down to, it's pretty much game over. So I really like this card a lot in this deck. I haven't found a good place for it. This is definitely, I think, the place for it. And then we just splashed in 2 Obscurus Charms. This is not only going to act as a really great counter spell for us and removal spell, but if you notice the last thing here of being able to bring back a creature to the battlefield that's multicolored 3 or less, it can actually reanimate the schemer if it dies. So it basically acts as 2 extra Eternal Schemers for you and some flex play. But yeah, that's how the deck kind of came together. I really like it. I think it worked out pretty nicely. It's a hard card to work around, but when you play it, it feels super powerful. Like it's gonna get a lot more powerful, I'm sure, down the road when we get new cards. Right now the meta's kind of weird, being mono blue, mono black everywhere. Those are kind of the 2 best decks. This isn't exactly tier 1, but it feels really good, like it could get somewhere one day, like really powerful. And I'm sure a lot of people are talking about this in Commander too. I'm sure people are using it in Commander pretty heavily. But yeah, it's a fun card, definitely a fun card worth playing. I mean, it's so interesting. And I'm by no means the the end all be all as far as how you play it. There's other ways you can do it. I'm sure there's plenty of ways. But of course, if you guys have other ways to play it and you've got some really cool decks around us, let me know. I've seen some 5-color stuff with this. You know, I've seen some domain sort of triggers with this thing. I prefer the straight up Esper, but let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear your thoughts, obviously, down below in the comment section. I'd appreciate it as well. But that'll do it for today's video, man. I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. That will conclude this one, though. And as always, end of the video, got to give a huge shout out, of course, to the Marty Mob. If you guys don't know, the Marty Mob is the membership program here on the channel. I got to give a huge shout out to them for helping support the channel. I do appreciate it very much. But that will conclude, guys, today's video. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow for another one. Yeah, I do appreciate you watching, and thanks for hanging out with me. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and until next time, peace.
Hit him 3 times like a hat trick. The name is Swayze, no Patrick. If you play him, then it's tragic. Hit him with the mythic, yeah, that's magic. MTG, that's what you'll see if you like and subscribe. Where's the upload, man? Man, all of the time. Coming with the best decks, this is the meta. This ain't cheap.